Straight from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, the show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
And I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
Hey, John Trumbull, how are you doing?
Well, doing okay, Darren. What's going on with you?
Doing okay, doing all right. We're in December now, the holiday season, getting ready.
We're almost through 2023. I can't believe it.
I know, this year just flew by, right? Just the blink of an eye.
Yes and no.
Okay. All right.
Yes, it has passed quickly. No, in that it hasn't quite passed quickly enough.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
so there has been some dragging of this year in some spots for you.
Not so much dragging as a when, oh my God, when will this year be over sort of thing.
I see. So just a
You know.
slow crawl, agonizing crawl towards the end of the year.
Yeah, and eventually death. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be one of those episodes, I see, eh?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I'm trying to keep it upbeat, Darren.
This is you trying to keep it upbeat?
Well, sure, yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I've had a year, you guys. I've had a year.
Oh, God. We did it. You know, it's a year's gone by. You see, like, John Trumbull, like, marking the years on his wall like a prisoner.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of marks carved into a stone wall, and at the top it says, "How broken I am."
Oh, God. Wow.
I'm sorry. Am I going too dark?
No, it's
Okay.
fine.
Right.
Okay. Off the rip. Here we go. Okay. Well, let's.
But there are still good things in life, like this latest episode of Saturday Night Live with Emma Stone and Noah Kahan, season 49, episode 6, December 2nd, 2023.
Absolutely, Emma Stone, fifth time hosting, one of SNL's best hosts, I'd say. And
yeah, certainly of more recent years. Yeah, she just pretty much kills it every time she comes on.
Yeah, no, strong performer, vibes well with the cast. Found her
marries
husband,
people in the crew.
Marries people in the crew. Yeah, exactly. We'll get into that. It's brought up in the monologue. But yeah,
Yes.
she is like part of the SNL family. She's woven herself into the SNL fabric,
Mm-hmm.
the tapestry that is SNL, if you will.
Yeah. We should have. I mean, we're well on our way to having like a Real Housewives reality show about celebrities who are married to people at SNL. You know, we've got Emma Stone, Scarlett
Yeah.
Johansson. We need another mega celeb to marry someone behind the scenes at SNL. Is Wally the Cue Card guy married?
I would assume so. I mean, he's a handsome fella. Like, I'm sure some lucky lady swooped
I
him
think
up.
he has a family. So
Yeah, I mean, does Olivia Munn count? But I mean, Mulaney used to be.
because she's with John Mulaney.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Maybe.
technicality.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Natasha Lyonne's like on and off with Fred Armisen.
Yeah, that's true. Oh wow, this Real Housewives thing is really coming together now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, or we could make it like a First Wives Club type movie
Ooh.
with all of them, and just like about their lives as major Hollywood celebrities who are also married to people behind the scenes at SNL.
Hey, I like it. All right,
Hollywood,
SNL,
call me.
Lauren, call us if you want to get in on this fucking primo real estate. You call the SNL nerds, and you do it now.
Exactly. So anyway, should we get into the show itself?
Absolutely. Let's kick it.
Okay. First, we have the George Santos expelled cold open, which is, I'd say, one of the big news stories this week. It was a big newsworthy week.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as this hit, the news about I guess problematic, troublesome Congressman George Santos.
That's the nicest way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using my kids' gloves here, but as soon as the news hits that he was finally being expelled from Congress, like I knew SNL would just hop all over this because it's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, because they've had Bowen Yang play him several times before, and this is just it's so absurd. It just seems tailor made for SNL. So
yeah, like I mean, I read online somewhere that HBO is in the works of making like a biopic, either a biopic or a documentary about this
I
whole.
saw you share that story, and
I mean,
I've
my
also
goodness.
heard a ton of people predicting that he's going to be on Dancing with the Stars before the year is out, or before a year passes, I should say.
Yeah, I could see that, and I also shout out
Yeah.
to my friend Megan McCoy who said if they don't cast Harvey Gillian at We Riot, who many of you may know as I forget, I know Guillermo on What We Do in the Shadows. He would actually be pretty perfect for the role
Okay.
of George
I don't
Santos.
watch the show, so I don't know who that is. But
Okay, well,
all right.
give him a Google. You'll be won over just by that.
All right. So anyway, this cold open, it starts out with Sarah Sherman as Wolf Blitzer, which is really just kind of bizarre.
Yeah, kind of that
It's
was like
odd
jarring.
casting, right?
Very odd casting. Like I thought, uh, Sarah Sherman, okay, I guess. I mean, I guess maybe because all the other guys were being used as reporters
I
later on in the sketch, but
I don't know. I think they were just doing it for the absurdity of it. Honestly, I
yeah,
don't think it was a case of we don't have anybody who can play Wolf Blitzer. I think they just thought, oh, who would be the goofiest person we who could play Wolf Blitzer? Or
yeah,
maybe Sarah was like, please, please, please let me play Wolf Blitzer.
it's been my lifelong dream to
Yeah,
play
I
Wolf
just want
Blitzer.
to wear gray hair and a fake beard on national television.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right, I'll go with this so far. Yeah,
So
and
anyway,
yeah,
yeah, it's really just an intro from Sarah as Wolf Blitzer. She says we got expelled Congressman George Santos. He's giving his final press conference, and Bowen comes out as George Santos, and it's a mildly exaggerated version of what the real George Santos said.
exactly. Like
uh,
we have Bowen
America,
saying, yeah,
yeah,
what's
go
up?
ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say, yeah. It's Bone Yang as George Santos saying how he's being persecuted for being a proud gay thief,
Hmm.
and like, yes, now he's no longer as a congressman anymore, but now he's just regular old professor, major general, uh, the protector of the realm, astronaut, princess of Geneva, George Santos.
He's lied about his resume a lot, people.
Very like to an exorbitant amount, some would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just a
But I
big old
mean, yeah,
liar.
he keeps maintaining that none of this is his fault. I mean, because that's what happens today. People don't admit guilt; they just
Nope.
say that it's all a witch hunt, and that's
Yep.
supposed to make it all go away. Because
If you
America
Yep.
hates to see a Latina queen winning, as they say.
Exactly. If you keep
Um,
saying it's not your fault and you didn't do anything, and you keep saying that and don't admit to your own wrongdoing, then you never lose the fight.
I mean, it really is historic. He's become the sixth congressman to ever be expelled from office, and he's going to be prosecuted for 23 felonies. I
Woo!
heard. So yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot, man.
It's yeah, it's quite a bit. Like if you're still on the side of George Santos or you're still like rooting for him after all this, there's something wrong with you, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So after Bowen enjoying playing being a catty bitch for a few minutes, he
Wow.
he goes to a piano and he sings a parody of Candle in the Wind called "Goodbye Congress Queen,"
Hmm.
with funny altered lyrics, all about horrible things that George Santos has done.
Yeah, yeah. Like I actually did like this change because like at first I thought we were gonna get kind of the same thing we've been getting from Bowen.
Hmm.
Whenever he does his George Santos thing, just these exaggerated, over the top, exuberant lies.
Yeah,
And just like him like constantly and clearly displaying that he's a thief. I did like the one part where where he talks to the reporters saying, "All right, what do you vultures want from me now?" And then one of the reporters are saying, "You called this press
yeah,
conference."
yeah. That was cute. Honestly, I feel like maybe they could have just gone into the song by itself. I like when they were doing the song. I was like, really, this is all you need.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't need the Wolf Blitzer thing as fun as it was to see Sarah dressed up. I didn't necessarily need the reporter stuff. And I'm and again it's that SNL go to of the weird thing happening, and then the reporters became like the Greek chorus, be like, look at this weird thing that's happening.
Yeah, I'll go with you there. Like
Yeah,
my
I honestly think the song was strong enough just to do that by itself as the cold open.
yeah, because yeah, I will admit that because like in the beginning with the Wolf Blitzer and then the reporters, I did like the
Hmm.
parts where George Santos was asking the reporters, "All right, I'll choose you. What's your name and routing number?" That stuff
Yeah,
was cute, but
yeah, and I liked
yeah,
it. Like at one point when Mikey Day's reporter character fell for it, and he was like, "Oh, damn it!" Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it was funny stuff,
but I feel like
but we've seen stuff like that quite a bit before. So
but yeah, like I feel like it really kicked into gear once he did the song and like
yeah,
and
yeah.
really
I mean
deviated.
that was the meat of it. So
Yeah, like even the parts where like while he's singing the song, they cut back to the reporters, and then the reporters comment on things he's singing.
yeah,
Even
I
that
didn't
I
think that
thought,
was necessary. Yeah,
no, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. Like if this was just the song, I felt like it would have been a little bit more impactful and
yeah,
hit a little
yeah. I
harder
feel
for
like
sure.
less would have been a little more.
Exactly.
All right.
Um, but yeah, other than that, not a bad cold open. Like I did
Yeah,
enjoy it.
not bad. Could have been better.
Yes, not bad. Could have been better.
All right. Next, Emma Stone. Nearly
Emma
said Emma
Thompson.
Thompson. Yeah. Emma Stone, Five Timers monologue. Now, of course, this is Emma Stone's fifth time hosting SNL, and as has become tradition, they do a Five Timers sketch
Yeah, pa pa pa
because
pa pa pa.
it's a thing that people just expect now.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much. Oh yeah, this is gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we talked about it when it was announced that she was hosting. We were like, "Hey, this is her fifth time. We look forward to the Five Timers sketch," and it has become a thing that fans of the show look forward to.
Yeah, yeah.
So she,
I did like how when she came out, she was talking about how much SNL means to her and how much she
mhm,
loves it. And she says like, I met my husband here, and like I know
yeah,
he's my husband. He's here tonight. He's very camera shy, but I would like to have the camera cut to him. Just acknowledge him.
mhm,
Camera, of course, cuts to Lauren Michaels with a glass of wine in his hand.
yeah. We don't see Lauren pop up on camera quite as much as we used to these days.
Yeah, not much. He's kind of relegated to the background, just kind of lurking in the shadows,
Yeah,
as it were, just watching how everything is watching.
yeah. But that, I mean, that was a cute gag.
Yeah, but I mean, for those that don't know, Emma Stone is married to Dave McCary, who was a segment director and writer on SNL. And a little fun fact: he was actually one of the founders of the Good Neighbors sketch comedy group, the one that had Beck Bennett and Dave's childhood friend Kyle Mooney.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, and he also directed Brigsby Bear, which was the movie Kyle Mooney starred in. So, like,
Okay, that was a little too much information.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So sorry. I did. I gave you guys just enough, and like I was like, let me
You
press my
got
luck.
greedy, Patterson. You got
Damn it!
greedy.
Got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Exactly. All
Uh,
right. So we also have a Tina Fey cameo. She comes out to such huge applause that we basically lost her entrance line, which was did somebody say Mean Girls? And then I just kind of like divined the setup line from Emma Stone saying, "Nobody said Mean Girls, Tina."
I did. I didn't even realize that until just now. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
she says
yeah.
that.
I mean, the joke was that Emma Stone named some other project, but I forget, and then Tina Fey was supposed to go. Did somebody say Mean Girls? But they were
Nope.
just so thrilled to see Tina that it drowned out the line.
Oh boy. Well,
But
yeah.
Tina says that Emma is at 35 years old, officially the youngest member of the Five Timers Club, and Tina is the
Ooh.
second youngest at 53. And I'm like,
Okay.
well, wait, surely Drew Barrymore is younger than Tina Fey, right?
Yeah, Mulaney's got to be younger. What are you talking?
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, that's I I shouldn't fact check the joke.
Okay. Yeah. Please. Please.
Yeah, yeah. And they talk about how uh, Emma is in the Five Timers Club women's section, which was
Ooh.
Candace Bergen's idea. And then we have a nice little Candace Bergen cameo.
Candy Berg comes
Yeah.
out.
So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're watching SNL in the '70s, you couldn't help but see Candace Bergen,
yeah, yeah. I
and
think, yeah,
she
absolutely.
must live in the city.
She must like her and Tina Fey. Like, I mean, whenever they do one of these five timer sketches, like
Hmm.
I always think in my mind, 9 times out of 10, we're probably going to see Tina or Candice Bergen. Like the
Right.
odds are very good.
And Paul Rudd lives in New York too, so I think he's a friend of the show, so he's pretty easy to get.
Right, for
Um,
sure.
so
So yeah. So I had a feeling like they're probably going to show up, and both of them showed up, and they were
both
both
of them
great.
showed up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and Candice Bergen still looks great, still has her timing. I like
Yeah,
the line about John Mulaney being a creepy ventriloquist dummy.
yeah.
That was very cute.
I like the line how Candice Bergen says, "Yeah, the women's section of the Five Timers Club started off as a small, quiet place for women to cry, and now it's a big, luxurious place for women to cry."
Yep, that's a great line. Also wrote that one down. And then, of course, Emma Stone gets her official Five Timers jacket, and inside the pocket she finds a joint. And they say, "Oh, it must be Woody Harrelson's jacket." Oh, and there's a vaccination card. Oh, then it's not Woody Harrelson's jacket.
Ha ha! Zing!
Got him,
Ha ha! Heyo!
because he likes the pot and he doesn't like the vaccination.
Yeah, his last episode that was a weird one.
Yeah, it was. Was that the season premiere last year?
No, it was like in the middle somewhere, but like that
Okay.
was that was his Five Timers episode, and it was yeah, that episode was oof,
Yeah.
big old
Well,
bag of
he's
oof.
he's a bit of an odd duck, that Woody
Yeah,
Harrelson.
he's a wild card,
Yeah, but
wild card Harrelson.
yeah, but a good monologue. I mean, I enjoy how they've just sort of built up this whole mythology around the Five Timers Club, because it really does feel like it's its own thing with its own weird traditions and bits of trivia.
Yeah, it feels like something that started off as a joke, and
Yeah,
now it's kind of merged into an actual real thing.
yeah. It just started when Tom Hanks was hosting for his fifth time in uh, I think the 80s, because Conan was still writing there.
Yes,
So this would have been around 88, 89, something like that.
sounds about right.
And it was just like, hey, why don't we have you join an exclusive club? And they came up with the Five Timers Club, and it's just become a thing. And I think, like, probably whenever a host makes it to five shows, they want to have a Five Timers Club sketch, and the fans really want to see it. And it's an easy thing for them to do and keep coming back to. So yeah,
Mm.
I like that it's become just this weird sort of alternate universe friars club in the world of the show.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that it's like they willed it into existence. This whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, and it's, of course, it's a good excuse to get some beloved cameos out there. So
Yeah,
that's fun.
who doesn't love a beloved cameo?
I mean, certainly not me.
Same.
Yeah,
But yeah, monologue, great. I dug this.
yeah,
So far so good.
solid. Didn't overstay its welcome. Good stuff.
Hmm.
Okay, first sketch, Question Quest, a game show sketch.
What?
SNL's not doing this as often as they used to, so I was like, okay, a game show sketch. It
Yeah,
wasn't like, oh, a game show sketch,
yeah,
which I think that's a good indicator that they're not doing too many game show sketches.
yeah. For a while, I think we talked about it on a podcast. Like for a while there, a couple years back.
And on our podcast,
Yes. What I say?
Padcast.
Oh, Pat. I went to a Boston accent there for a minute. I
Yeah,
don't know where
play
that
it
happened.
back, people. He says Padcast.
A fucking podcast, right, kid?
Rock the con, the hop and yod.
Turned into Bill Burr there for a minute. I don't know where that happened. I don't know what happened. Ah, jeez. So, oh, losing my mind. But yeah, like, yeah, for a while there on our podcast,
Mm.
we talked about how for a while it seemed like they were doing a game show sketch like every episode. It got ridiculous. Got ridiculous there for
Yeah,
a little
it,
bit.
it it becomes a lot. And again, I see the appeal of doing the game show sketches, because if there's nothing else, it gives you an instant structure.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, you've got a simple game show which everybody understands. You got a few contestants, usually about three. Everybody's got their little bit, and somebody can play the host, and then something absurd happens, and then the game comes to an end. Ba end of sketch.
Yay.
This worked pretty well, I think. We had Michael Longfellow as host. Joe Vibin, which I didn't catch that name until I rewatched the sketch. I was like, oh, that's cute. Uh,
Get it? Vibing.
and then we have Emma, Heidi, and Punky as the contestants. We have James Austin Johnson, just kicking ass as the announcer, man.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah,
When Longfellow came out as the host, I was like, oh, how come they didn't use JC
JJ.
JJ as
Yeah,
the host? Because like I feel like he'd be a better host. But then he did it. He was the announcer, and it's like, oh no, he's a better announcer. That's why.
yeah. I mean, I was going back and forth on Longfellow as a host because he's very he's kind of deadpan. He's kind of low key, and that works for him. But like when I'm seeing a game show sketch, usually I want somebody to bring the energy that like Bill Hader would always bring in when he did
Mm.
game show sketches, and that's maybe an unfair standard to compare him to. When I rewatched the sketch, I was like, no, actually, Longfellow works well in this sketch.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So,
like I
yeah,
said, I went back and forth with this.
right, absolutely. So basically, to set up how the sketch starts is the host asks Emma Stone's character the first question. She gets it right,
Hmm.
and she immediately wins a prize. Just after one question, she wins a tortoise, and
Speedy
then
the giant tortoise.
Speedy the giant tortoise, and then Chloe Trost, as the game show model, brings out an actual live tortoise
And
onto
it's
the stage.
huge.
It is ginormous.
It is like the size of like a laundry basket.
It's so damn big.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's just kind of cool because hey, giant tortoise.
Yeah, like
And Emma Stone is just very shocked. She's like, "Oh, well, I won this after one question. What? Wow!" And then we find out that it's been the host since he was 6 years old, and Emma Stone's like, But how long does a giant tortoise live?" And they're like, "Anywhere between 150 to 190 years."
yes, and I liked how the announcer JJ said, like, "Oh yeah, this was given to him by the host's dad. He locked a minor into a 190-year-old contract."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
But yeah,
they say they're not entirely certain how long they live because everyone who studies them dies before they do. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
and yeah,
funny stuff. Funny stuff.
yeah. So then it becomes a thing where throughout the show, Emma is realizing, wait, you locked me into this lifelong contract of taking care of this tortoise. I don't think I can do that. So she's trying
Yeah,
to get rid of the tortoise or pawn him off on the other contestants. And
right. It's a good twist. It's a good twist.
right, and like I guess she finds out that she can't win a tortoise unless like one of the other contestants get a question right.
Yeah,
But then Heidi gets a question right, and she wins 3 cars.
3 cars. I also like they just cut to a picture of 3 cars. They don't even specify what kind of cars they are.
Just cars.
Um,
It's like you could take one or all three.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I also like that Punky's contestant was very clueless. At one point, she had to name the Santa's reindeer that had the red nose, and she gets 12 guesses and she gets them all wrong. Uh,
yeah, yeah. I also like the part where Emma says, "Look, I don't think I can take care of a tortoise for the rest of my life." And then
mhm.
Longfellow immediately quits back. Well, then kill him, tough guy.
Yeah. Again, I loved how blasé he was about it. I mean, he's also just yeah, he's just glad to finally get rid of the tortoise that he's been bringing up for 25 years.
Yeah, exactly. And
And
yeah, yeah.
then at the end, she's like, "Why did you do this to me?" And he just goes, "Because it was done to me." And then he's like, "I'm gonna go start the rest of my life." And then it just he signs off. It's I think it was very funny and just wonderfully absurd. I really like this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say sketch of the night for
This
me.
could be sketch of the night for me. I think I might be neck and neck with something else
Yeah,
on this.
and
So
I mean, no, for me, I would say this was sketch of the night. I also like the little factoid they threw in about, like basically, like he was giving the other contestants a question to try to give him a
yeah.
chance to win the tortoise off of Emma Stone, and he showed a picture of Charles Darwin and Steve Irwin, and him
Hmm.
saying like, what do these two people have in common? And the answer is that they both owned the same tortoise, which I
Yeah.
looked up, and it is actually true. There was
Holy
a
shit. Yeah,
there,
I thought about looking that up and I wonder if like somebody found that fact online and then wrote this sketch around that just so they could use that little factoid.
I think so, because like yeah, I looked it up. According to Wikipedia, there's a tortoise named Harriet that was born in 1830 and
Hmm.
died June 2006.
Wow.
And that tortoise did belong to both Charles Darwin and found its way into the Australian Zoo, which was owned by Steve and Terry Irwin.
Wow.
The same tortoise. That's beyond insane.
Yeah. Do we have a writing credit for this sketch?
I don't believe there was one. I have a
Okay. Yeah,
this
I'm
thing's pulled up, but
I'm calling it up right now. I'm just seeing if there are any writing credits up for it.
I want to say this is a Streeter joint just because I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I usually like sketches that Streeters had a hand in, and I don't want to just give somebody credit if I'm unless I'm positive, but yeah, it did feel like a Streeter joint.
Yeah, it reeks of a Streeter joint. But if it's somebody
Yeah.
else's, I will happily give them the credit.
Yeah, I mean, look, whoever you are, we love you.
Yes, yes,
We love you. Yeah, I'm not seeing any writer credits for seasons episode 6 yet. So, um, kudos to the writer of Question Quest.
yeah, yeah. I thought this was. I really liked the sketch. I thought, oh,
Yeah,
we're off to a strong start.
strong start. I always love seeing that the opening sketch is a strong one. And next we have a pre-tape. I don't want to say the name because it kind of gives away the gag. I feel sorry for people who are watching this for the first time on YouTube, but since it's a review show, I guess we should just say it, right?
Yeah, let's go for it. Why not?
Okay, it's Fully Naked in New York. It's starts up with a sad song. We got Bowen and Emma Stone singing, and they're talking about how it's really tough in the world today. Takes
Yeah,
everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. And it sounds familiar.
it does. It does. It's I want to say the theme song to Alf. I want to
Wings.
say.
That was
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Right. My
yeah.
mistake. Got it.
Okay. And then we find out the only thing that makes them feel better is riding in the back of a garbage truck fully naked in the middle of New York City at 11 a.m. and
Yeah.
and we cut to a shot of Bowen and Emma both apparently naked, just with their naughty bits blurred out,
Right. Yeah.
and impressive special effects. I mean, it looked like they were outside in a few shots, but for most of the shots, of course, it's just they're just screened in.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, they're singing like it's almost like oh, like a Broadway musical type of song they're singing it,
Yeah, yeah,
or maybe like a Vanessa Carlton jam. But yeah,
yeah.
you're just talking about how you find happiness on the back of a garbage truck naked with your big white ass flapping in the breeze.
Yes, yes, and then we have other people joining in. We have Marcelo and Chloe Trost talking about, and you're just kind of waiting for the turn to happen with them. You're like, okay, is this going to be another naked thing, or is this going to be another absurd thing? And it's another naked thing, and
Yeah.
they're working on a construction site fully naked.
Yeah, I do like how when like Marcelo is fully naked and he's doing the
Hmm.
jackhammer, still
Yeah,
has a gold chain on around his neck.
did you really? I didn't notice that. That's
He's
funny.
fully naked except for a gold chain. I was like,
I mostly noticed okay, his body isn't shaking anything like it would be if he was really operating a jackhammer. But I guess that's almost impossible to simulate.
yeah,
Um,
that's true. Uh,
and you get to see who in the cast manscapes.
you get to see that, lucky you.
Yeah. Then we have Diz Mukes, Punky Johnson. We have Chloe Fineman as a cop directing traffic. We have Sarah Sherman like squatting down capturing
Yeah,
rats.
that was disturbing.
That was, I mean, like, yeah, Sarah. Somehow Sarah is still the weirdest thing in this sketch.
Yeah, because she has like big puffy hair and she's like
Yeah,
crouched over like Gollum looking
she's
for.
got she's got like a little rat cage that she's trying to get him with, and wow,
She looks so deranged.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
wow.
and
Like, how did you out weird this sketch, Sarah?
this had to be a bonding experience for the cast. They're all in their nude body stockings and
Mm.
and
Birthday
all blurred
suits.
out together.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it was just so absurd. It was very amusing, and I honestly want a documentary about shooting this short.
Yeah, I'm sure there's. I mean, SNL, if you're listening, and I know you are,
Yeah,
put that out on your YouTube page.
I want like a 20-minute documentary about the pitching, the writing, the shooting of this of this short,
Yes,
because I'm sure that would be tremendously amusing.
the mystery liquid coming out of the garbage bags. Oh,
Oh, that was
oh,
ooh.
yeah, that was.
I mean,
Whew,
that's disgusting even if you're clothed, but yeah.
yeah, that's.
But they're just so damn happy to be naked in public.
Yeah. Like part of me was like, "Oh, this is interesting. This is a weird concept." I didn't know if it was like part of a TikTok trend or something, but from what I found online, it wasn't. It was just they just kind of
Okay,
came up with this idea on
what
their
were
own.
the search terms you were entering in to look for this?
Um,
And what sites were you entering these search terms in, Darren?
I I went in incognito
Hmm.
under a different
Okay,
brow
okay, yeah, incognito mode.
in,
Good start, smart
under a
move.
different browser,
Yep,
and
yep. You got to have the dedicated browser for that stuff.
yeah, don't do it at work for God's sakes. Don't do it.
You can always tell when you're googling something that you're not supposed to when like it starts auto suggesting stuff.
Yeah, and
You know, you start typing it in and then you're not seeing in results anymore until you hit enter.
yeah,
You're like that's Google like, yeah, you shouldn't be looking for this, kid.
yeah, yeah. I didn't find the sketch, but I found a lot of other things, and
Yeah,
I'm
I bet you did.
gonna have
I
to
bet you did.
erase that history.
No judgment. No judgment.
Get rid of those cookies.
Exactly.
Uh,
Next, we have Tree Lighting Gig with
mm,
Keenan Thompson resurrecting his lounge singer character. What's the name of this character? Does he have a name? I don't know.
I don't think he does. It's like Travante or something. But
Something like that.
he's
Yeah.
done this character before when Seth Meyers hosted and Ryan Gosling hosted, Martin Freeman hosted, and
Yeah.
yeah, so he basically plays like
Some
this.
might say too many times.
Some
Some
might
might say
say,
that. Yeah.
yeah, like so basically he plays like this lounge singer. Like they always perform in front of these, these dives, and he gets very he pries too much into his bandmates' lives on stage and pries into their private lives, much to the bandmates' embarrassment. Yeah,
Keenan's doing a character who sounds exactly like Keenan Thompson.
he
He
does do
says
that.
tweedly dee, tweedly dot a lot, and I'm just like, okay, well, I've seen this sketch like 3 or 4 times before, so
Yeah, it basically hits the same beats as the other times he's done before. Like
yeah.
asking the audience if anybody knows if they have a Dones for his back. Does anybody remember Dones? Um, yeah, it went over just as well as it's going over now with you, John. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, and he's prying into his bandmates' lives. We see Emma Stone playing like a trumpet or like a flugelhorn type of
She was a trumpeter. They call her a trumpeter during the sketch.
trumpeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And her prying into things he's heard her say at in the middle of the night. And of course, the keyboardist played by Bowen saying like, "Hey, you need to lay off," and him saying, "Hey, I'm like neither of you had daddies, and I'm just trying to assume that role." Just a lot of back and forth like that, as it were. Um,
5 long minutes this sketch went.
yeah, like it hits a lot of the same beats of the other
Five
ones.
long minutes.
Um, yeah, and then it goes into Emma Stone's ex, who escaped from a women's prison for men, who got into their hotel room because he can't use the bathroom in prison,
And he
and
flooded their room.
flooded their room. And of course, Keenan's freaking out about his scooter boots, wondering like, "Oh, I hope he didn't steal my scooter boots." What and of Bowen saying, "What are scooter boots?" and Keenan saying, "What are you, human dumbass?" Um, I did the one thing I did.
You don't need to make me relive it any further.
Sorry, the one thing I did like is when Bowen points out that the audience left, and then the camera cuts to them, no one being in the room with them at all. It's just them by themselves arguing.
I envy that audience.
Ooh, and
Just I didn't need to see this again. I was like, oh really? Really?
yeah,
Why? Why? Was anyone clamoring for the return of this sketch and this character?
yeah, these sketches. I mean, like the wordplay and the word salad. Sometimes you get a couple of good
I mean,
zingers.
yeah, like when you were recounting it, like some of it is cleverly written, but I don't know, just that Keenan performance just it rubs me the wrong way so much. I can't really enjoy any of the sketch
Yeah, I mean he does play.
because it just seems so lazy to me.
Yeah, like he does hit the same notes over and over again. And I know people
Yeah.
say that Keenan is like kind of the glue, like he's the one that kind of makes all the sketches
They
work.
say that. It's not
But
true.
I think,
I know he's not. Phil Hartman was the glue, man.
yeah,
Keenan
yeah.
Keenan is no Phil Hartman. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think even now people are starting to be like, well, he's kind of doing the same things. I think the glue that people thought Keenan was or is starting to not be as adhesive as it once
Yes.
was. I'll say that.
Yes.
Because yeah, like as they were going through the same
Yeah,
motions.
that construction hat is not sticking to the girder anymore.
Oh wow, that is a deep cut. I understood that. I've seen that
Yeah,
clip
I knew
before.
you would. Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
All the millennials listening to this podcast, if there are any, are like, what the fuck is he talking about? But Gen Xers are losing their shit right now.
Exactly. Gen Xers are like, oh shit, I know what you're talking about, son. And all the millennials and Gen Zs are like, I don't know. Is that a
Yeah, I
TikTok?
don't know.
Is that a
Yeah.
TikTok thing? Can I find it on
Yes,
TikTok?
it's a TikTok thing, kids. Go look it up on TikTok.
But yeah, other than that tree lighting gig, yeah, it's not the strongest sketch of the night for sure.
Yeah, I don't. This is. I mean, there are times when I love Keenan, and and then there's this.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate seeing him do a character that just sounds like Keenan, and
Yeah, yeah. Like,
like Bowen's doing a character. Emma Thompson. I keep wanting to say Emma Thompson for some reason. Emma Stone is doing a character, and Keenan is just talking like Keenan.
Keenan's just doing Keenan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he'll deepen his voice a little for a character, but
I
that's
mean,
his.
how long has Keenan been on the show now? Like 20, 21 years?
I think so. Yeah, like,
So if Keenan had a kid in his first year of the show, and I know he doesn't have any kids this old, but that kid would have graduated college by now.
yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah, he's definitely been. Hold on, I'll look
That's,
it up. But
that's too long, man. That's staying on the show too long.
it's
And
yeah,
I'm sure he's going to stay like to be on the 50th season too.
he's been on the show since 2003, so it's been 2 decades.
During the George W. Bush administration.
God damn,
There are people watching SNL who have never seen SNL without Keenan as a cast member. That boggles my mind.
that is just bonkers,
Yeah,
beyond bonkers.
that's nuts how it's supposed to work, people.
It's
I
yeah.
mean, he and don't get me wrong, he's done some great stuff. He's done some great stuff, but I don't see what else he has to give to the show.
It's so weird because like I remember. I mean, you remember when like Kate McKinnon was on the show,
Yeah,
and people love Kate, but even after a certain point, people are like, "Oh, I'm so tired of Kate. She needs to move on."
yeah.
Keenan's been there for 2 decades.
He's been there
Anybody.
like twice as long as like anybody else, I think.
I don't hear anybody saying, "Oh, Keenan's been there too long. He's got to go."
Oh, I
It,
mean, we say it.
we
I
say it, but
think
I think we're the only
yeah,
ones saying it.
I know, and I don't get it. I maybe it's just because we're older than a lot of the other hardcore SNL fans online, so
Maybe.
like we know what the show was like without him, and we know the show could survive his departure, but
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get why he's still there. I don't get why
I
I
feel
don't
like I'm.
get it.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
I know. I feel like I'm just like yelling down at the bottom of a well, and I'm like and no one hears me, and they're all just like, "Oh, isn't Keenan wonderful? I hope he never leaves. I hope he takes over the show after Lauren leaves." And I'm like, "What? What?"
Yeah, no, that's insane. Like, no,
That's
people,
insane
no.
because I'm like, has he ever produced? Has he ever directed? I mean, he's had his own sitcom that he didn't even leave the show to do.
Yeah, like people. If you're one of those people that think Keenan should take over for Lorne when he leaves, like, no, that's just wrong. That's incorrect.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Anyway,
don't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry this turned into a whole dump Keenan thing because
Yeah,
I
we do like Keenan. We do,
yeah
despite what we've said in the past 2 minutes. We do like Keenan.
yeah I just feel like he stayed at the party for too long.
Agreed, agreed. But hey, listeners, call in, tweet at us, let us know, defend Keenan if you can.
Yeah,
Maybe
what are
maybe we're being too harsh. I don't know.
maybe we are. I don't know.
Uh,
Anyway,
Next sketch. Please don't
please don't
destroy.
destroy. Yeah,
AI.
AI. It starts out with a text scroll saying the
Yeah.
Emma Stone footage that they shot for this was accidentally corrupted, so they used AI technology to replace the lost Emma Stone footage.
Right. You won't even notice.
You won't even notice,
So
and
like as
it's
soon
this.
as I saw that, I was like, okay, I know what the thing is.
Yeah, yeah. I think most everybody did. I mean, it's Emma coming in to talk about sketch stuff with the Police Don't Destroy Boys, who it's funny. We just a couple days ago recorded an episode about Please Don't Destroy's movie,
Mm-hmm.
the Treasure of Foggy Mountain. You folks haven't heard it yet.
Bonus episode. Bonus
Yeah, because it's
episode.
a bonus episode. It's hasn't gone up yet.
Mm.
It will go up on the Patreon soon. So if you want to hear that,
Yeah.
sign up for the Patreon.
Patreon. Patreon. Patreon.
Patreon, yeah, just go to non-productive.com and click on the Patreon page and yeah, donate a little
Mm.
and indicate you're doing it because you love the SNL nerds.
Do it, baby.
Do it, and you'll hear a whole bonus episode of the SNL nerds. Anyway,
Ooh wee.
that was a blatant plug.
Yeah. Wow. We never did that in the middle of the podcast before.
I know it came up organically.
Got it. All right. I love it, man. Hey,
Yeah,
ABC always be closing.
exactly. So anyway, Emma Stone coming in, talk to the Police Don't Destroy Boys, and they lead up like Martin has a confession to make,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yes.
and and it's that Emma's revealing that she's in love with Martin, which is a little weird because like we know that she's married to someone from the show, and
Yeah.
in the reality of this episode,
Yeah.
she's married to Lorne Michaels.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
know. Like part of me is I'm thinking her husband's like, all right, who wrote this sketch? Whose ass
the,
do I have to kick?
the the continuity of this episode all over the place.
Yeah, and of course the joke is in this sketch is the camera cuts back to Emma Stone, and we see that
Yeah,
she's being played by Punky Johnson with like like a computerized face of her stretched out
yeah,
over her
very
face.
clumsily. Yeah,
Yeah, it looks ghoulish, really.
it looks like, I mean, imagine the footage from like the 1995 GoldenEye video game. It's on
Wow,
that level.
the deepest of cut. Gen X again. They're gonna love
Again,
this episode.
yeah. I mean, hi Scott, how you doing? Um,
But yeah, so it's Punky Johnson saying like, "Yeah, it's me, Amanda Stones," and then there's another disclaimer saying, "Yeah, Punky Johnson doesn't really know who Emmy Award, Oscar Award winning actress Emma Stone is." So
yeah,
that's another thing that comes up where she doesn't know who
yeah.
Emma
Another
Stone
another
is.
fun callback that Punky just doesn't really know celebrities, which I enjoy quite a bit.
Exactly. I think after that, then Ben says, "Oh yeah, we really enjoyed you on your new show, The Curse." And then it cuts
Hmm.
back to her saying, "Oh the Curse? Oh, like Harry Potter? Oh, I'm that chick from Harry Potter. Okay."
Yeah, and then
And
she mispronounces Hermione.
yes,
And yeah, and it's very, yeah, it's funny on a couple levels. I mean, it's funny because of the clumsy computer graphics. It's funny because we have Punky be the one devil for Emma Stone, probably the cast member who looks the least like Emma Stone.
right. And
Uh,
but yeah, yeah,
yeah, and then we have the humor of her not knowing who the celebrities are. So we got three levels here, people.
yeah. It's breaking all types of fourth walls because like even they cut
Hmm.
in like showing them shooting the sketch saying, "Yeah, no one's gonna believe this is Emma
Yeah,
Stone."
yeah, and we still have occasional shots of the real Emma Stone because not all the footage was damaged, which
Yeah,
which is a nice conceit.
yeah. But then they include footage of them shooting this new footage of
Right.
Punky being Emma Stone, and
Yeah.
then they cut to another scene where it shows like Marcelo Hernandez subbing in for Ben with
Right. With
like
Ben's face superimposed. I mean, this looks like Hannibal Lecter stuff.
yeah, and then the disclaimer says, yeah, Ben's footage was also corrupted, but Ben refused to reshoot it because he had a dinner event with his friends from high school. So Marcelo just stepped in, and then Marcelo speaking Spanish, saying
Yes.
things.
Yeah. And like the face shorts out for a minute so you can see Marcelo's real face momentarily. Then we have John, who didn't like how he looked in the end of the sketch, so he and they show footage of him getting into a fight with the editor, and then he was seamlessly yassified.
Yeah, so then now we see John. His face, he has like long hair, and his face is all like photoshopped to hell.
He looks
Uh,
like Caitlyn Jenner, basically.
yes, very much so. I also like the footage. They also put in footage, security footage of him beating up the editor, saying, "Hey,
Right,
I'm the
right.
short one in the group. I need this."
Yes, yes. And then we get back to the Martin John hookup, and Punky's like, she has to like kiss Martin. She's like, "Hey, I'm down for it. It's like that one time in college."
Yeah,
And of course, whenever she turns her head, it screws up because if you've seen a lot of AI art, it can look impressive in places, but in other places, it's like, oh, now this is a horrifying abomination. It's not good with hands.
no,
Like look closely at the hands on any AI art. It's usually horrifying. If the face is at an odd angle, it looks really weird.
very much so, for sure.
Yeah, I saw an I assume it was an AI or some sort of computerized face replacement thing where they had um, Christopher Reeve as Superman, but they tried putting Linda Carter's face over Margot Kidder's Lois Lane,
Oh wow,
and like if she turned her head in an odd angle, it like suddenly just went all wonky. It was the weirdest thing.
uh, the future is now.
The future is now, but the future is not all it's cracked up to be.
No, it is not.
And I like we have one last scroll just saying Martin and Punky have been casually hooking up ever since this.
Yeah, like part of me was like, oh, that gives me Leslie Jones, Cal Mooney vibes a little bit right there.
I 100%. I was about to say the same thing. Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely, but yeah, overall, not. I mean, this sketch was a little all over the place, but I think that was by design. So I got a kick out of this sketch. I'd say.
I really liked it. I think it was one of the better Please Don't Destroy sketches of the season because it kept surprising me, which I liked. And I mean, it packs a lot into 3.5 minutes.
It does. It does pack
And
quite a bit.
and honestly, them like kind of working their way around the technical glitches. It reminded me a little bit of a sketch. I think this was like the last time that Zach Galifianakis hosted the show, where it was Derek was having friends over,
Hmm.
and we see Zach Galifianakis shooting it, but there are all sorts of weird screw ups. And then later in the show, they show this hastily edited version where everything's just kind of clumsily fixed.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's one
Do
of
you
the
remember
best.
that?
That's one of the best things they've ever done. That's like it was so clever.
It was so
And
clever and it was so brave because he basically just showed this. He showed the setup as one sketch, and then of course they were editing it in real time. I'm assuming because they were using the footage that that Galifianakis had shot earlier in the show, and then they show it later, and you're like, oh my god, that was brilliant.
right, like it's one of those sketches where once you see the sketch, you're like, oh, okay, but then you
Yeah,
see like the following sketch, and then you
yeah,
like the whole picture comes into vision once you see it. Like,
yeah. Because I mean,
oh,
they basically did a sketch to set it up, and then they did another sketch to pay it off. Brilliant, hilarious,
yeah,
and this reminded me of that one in a good way.
yeah, like that was oh wow, that was such a great that was art. That was art.
Yeah, that was. I want to look that up again once we finish recording.
Yeah, Daryl's house, I think it's called, right?
Daryl's house. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. I was remembering it as Derek, but you're right. It was Daryl.
Yes, guys, look up
Um,
Daryl's house. That sketch was oof.
yeah,
that
I
was a
don't
work
know if
of
they
art.
have both. I assume they have both the parts together on YouTube or something. But
Yeah, I mean,
brilliant, brilliant sketch.
yeah, I mean, you'd need both of them. But yeah, but the fact that they have is one sketch was the setup, and one sketch was the punchline.
I know.
That's damn,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah,
You crazy
yeah.
for this one, man?
All right. Next, we have What's in the Kiln with this was Chloe Feynman and Heidi as amateur potters
Yes.
hosting, and they're showing off their really amateur pottery. And Emma Stone comes on as a guest. I didn't really take any notes on this one.
Neither did I, because there wasn't much to this.
Yeah,
I
it was. I mean, the joke was like their pottery was really bad, and I was like, yeah, your pottery's bad, and but it wasn't like absurdly bad. It was just sort of
yeah,
average. Just started doing pottery bad. Like this is like the type of pottery you see in like a introductory ceramics class.
yeah. It's like it wasn't. absurd or anything. It was like, oh, it's very plausible. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen bad pottery made like that. I took pottery in
yeah.
high school. I've seen that.
It was very realistically bad pottery, so
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it had the exaggeration needed to really work as a comedy sketch. It seemed like it seemed like a Whiskers Are We sketch without the cats.
Yeah, very much. I've seen people online kind of compare it to that. Like, it seems like Heidi and Chloe were kind of going for that Kate and 80 vibe, or maybe
Hmm.
if you want to go all the way back to the Anna Gasteyer, Molly Shannon, NPR
Oh,
radio host.
delicious
But
dish.
yeah,
Yeah,
they were maybe trying to go for that vibe, but yeah, something was definitely missing from this. Like it,
yeah. I don't see this becoming a recurring thing.
no, I
No,
mean, I did.
I just didn't think there was enough there.
Yeah, there wasn't. Like I did like the line like when Chloe brought out her mug and it was looks terrible, and her saying, "Oh, it never looks dirty because it never looks clean." I was like, all right,
Hmm.
that's a funny line, but
Eh,
yeah, it was just like that's the
honestly,
whole the whole joke was like, yeah, that's bringing out bad looking pottery and people kind of trying to spare their feelings, saying it looks good, and they even tried to, I guess, I don't know, spice it up at the end by having Emma Stone come out, bringing out one of her potteries, and it being of her mother's vagina, and I was like,
yeah.
all right,
I mean, I kind of like they were like, oh, where did you get the reference for this? And she just said like, oh, I googled it. I
yeah.
mean that was cute, but like overall, I was kind of like that John Mulaney joke where he talks about pitching jokes to Mick Jagger, and Mick Jagger just goes, "Not funny." That was my reaction to this sketch. I was like, I want to bring in Mick Jagger to just go, "Not
No,
funny."
yeah, I mean, it seems like they're maybe trying to go for like a character piece with this, like it did feel like an old SNL sketch, like maybe something they would have done in the '80s or '90s, but there definitely wasn't enough there. There wasn't enough
Yeah,
to carry this sketch. I actually kind of
just
zoned.
didn't work.
Yeah, I just kind of zoned. I actually kind of zoned out a little bit,
Yeah, I
like
mean, and
halfway through.
it's I'm looking at it on YouTube now. It's 5.5 minutes. That's way too long.
Yeah, way too long. They got to cut that baby down.
Yeah,
I was like, where is this going? Like, all right, beginner pottery is bad. Okay, and
yeah. Let's go further with it than just
yeah,
settling. Like at one point, they all held up ashtrays, and Emma's was supposed to be much better than the other twos, but they all look more or less the same. And I don't
yeah,
know.
but they're acting like hers look better, but it looks as bad. So I was like,
Yeah,
all right, um,
maybe it would have been better with better props. I don't know.
yeah, it just kind of
It's I mean, because
meandered.
the SNL prop department is really good, and I can't believe it just sort of fell in the middle. It just
Yeah,
I don't have much else to say about it, really.
yeah,
So
me neither. Like this kind of meandered. It was a bit of a dud.
yeah.
So, whatever.
All right, let's move on to the musical guest.
Noah Khan, Noah Khan, Noah
Noah
Khan. Let me
Kahan.
rock you, Noah Khan.
Yeah. I don't think either one of us was really familiar with Noah Kahan before this, right?
Not really, no. He performed
Yeah.
two songs, "Dial
Mhm.
Drunk"
Yes.
and "Stick Season."
Stick season. I I kind of like this. I kind of liked his stuff. I liked how they had the stage dress
Mm,
for his first number. With they had sort of fog happening down on the ground and branches hanging above him. It gave it a neat sort of spooky atmosphere.
yeah,
He,
like a spooky storybook story.
yeah, yeah. He's kind of jangly, not real twangy. A little twangy goes a long way for me. So I
Yeah,
like that it was more like jangly country.
yeah,
Um,
it's more like folksy country pop rock.
yeah.
On Wikipedia it says his influences were like Paul Simon, Cat Stevens, Mumford and Sons.
Oh, I can hear the Mumford and Sons.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's very Mumford and Sonsy, very Lumineers,
yeah,
like that
yeah,
era of rock we had, like was like that Dust Bowl rock
yeah.
we had a while back.
I mean,
Uh,
he's got real good lyrics. He really paints a picture.
mm,
He's got lots of energy. Um,
yeah, and
I mean, I thought it was great stuff. I think he's really talented, man.
yeah, no, it's good stuff, and like bonus points for him. Uh, trying to bring back the banjo and making banjo music cool.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I thought was like a little odd was like the I think it was the first song, "Dial Drunk." where like you're hearing the banjo strongest in the mix, but Noah and like the two guys on either side of him, they're all on guitars, and the guy who's actually playing the banjo is like back next to the drummer. I was like, get the banjo guy up front, man.
Yeah,
He's
that
carrying this song.
yeah. Like at one point he has a solo. He's like
Yeah,
he's rocking out on the banjo, pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it, pick it. Like but he's like right next to the drummer. I'm like, dude, come
yeah.
on.
That just seemed a little odd to me. I mean,
Like if you're gonna like try to make the banjo cool, like Steve Martin and Kermit the Frog did before him,
sure, yeah,
give him the spotlight, put him up front,
yeah,
put him right next to the lead guitar. Why
yeah.
not?
All we want is equal banjo representation, Noah Khan.
Exactly.
I mean, we don't want to tell you how to do your business and how you should set up your band, but
But
we're telling you your
yeah,
business and how you should set up your band.
exactly. Exactly. But yeah, both performances I thought were strong, solid,
Hmm.
very Mumford and Sonsy. I dug it.
Good stuff. This is like I came away from this and I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind hearing some more Noah Khan.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understood, like it kind of blew up on TikTok, like everything else
Hmm.
these days. But yeah, I would say he's one of those artists that actually is a strong performer and has, he's earned his blowing up on TikTok. He has the skills to back it up. I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely good stuff. I mean, I always enjoy it when I get to discover a new artist on SNL. So,
Yeah. So
and that was this week, and yeah, nice offbeat choice too.
yeah, Noah Khan, thumbs up.
Noah Khan, watch for him.
Yes, Noah Khan, Noah Khan. Let
Uh,
me rock you, Noah Khan.
okay, well, you did that joke again. Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Hey, if SNL can redo the trio lounge singer Keenan Thompson sketch, I can redo Noah Khan, Noah Khan. Let me
I
rock
mean,
you, Noah
I disagree with both of those things, but okay.
Khan. Fine.
But anyway, weekend update. We amuse ourselves.
Ho ho ho.
Weekend update with Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Michael Che.
Oh, the first joke. We had a former first lady, former Secretary of State, and the Supreme Court's first female justice all pass away this week, and then George Santos is a man who's been all three. Ha 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 ha.
Ho ho ho. Yeah, I mean, I think the
I
jokes in this weekend, I think
yeah,
they're all right.
I was a little surprised that was like the only mention of Kissinger's death.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, Kissinger was like a big deal, but I
A
guess
big deal, and like when I came home Wednesday night, I think it was like that night, and I went on Twitter and I saw that Kissinger had passed away at age of 100, and of course it's just all people dunking on him and talking about how horrible he was.
right, exactly.
And Al Franken even talked about his story of one time when Kissinger called up the show. I guess this was in the 70s, and the Rolling Stones were the musical guest, and he was looking for tickets for his daughter. And Franken grabbed the phone and said, "If it wasn't for the Christmas bombing, you would have gotten your tickets, asshole." Hung up.
God, Al Franken is like one of the saltiest human beings I've ever. I love it though. I love his
And then
saltiness.
he became a senator. It's amazing.
Like,
Amazing.
I just love how salty Al Franken can be. I mean,
Yeah.
one of his books was named Rush Limbaugh is a Big Fat Idiot, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, wow, Al
You
Franken.
don't you don't want to get on Al Franken's bad side. The man bears a grudge.
I mean, like I still think about his last performance in SNL as Stuart Smalley, where his
Uh-huh.
movie bombed because
Yeah.
like it got beat up by like Bad Boys and that Pauly Shore
Uh-huh.
movie, and like he spent a whole sketch just basically calling everybody in the audience dumbasses for not watching his movie. I mean, god
I
damn.
mean, if Franken was still with the show, we would have gotten a sketch about like Kissinger entering the gates of hell and being like
Mm,
turned away because he was too bad even for them, or something like that. I mean, I was just because like they made such even. I mean, even in the late 70s when Nixon was out of office, they were still like going on about Kissinger.
yeah, I mean, my only thought is maybe because maybe this new generation, this Gen Z and millennials, maybe that aren't as familiar with Kissinger and what he
Yeah,
did.
yeah. Maybe the audience they don't expect the audience to have that long of a memory or something. But
Yeah,
yeah, I guess it is more of a boomer thing. And
Yeah.
It just surprised me a little because I thought we'd at least have a few more jokes about it during update.
No, he's not trending.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, um,
But yeah, Weekend Update. Yeah, it had some good jokes in there. I liked how was it Michael Che talked about how Liz
hmm
Cheney said in her book how one Republican called Trump Orange Jesus, and
hmm
he goes on to say, it's just like Colin Jost said, there's only one Jesus, and he's white, right, Colin?
yeah,
Remember how you say that?
yeah. Colin's like, yeah, I do say that a lot. I also
Mhm.
liked how Che joked that Elon Musk could destroy Hamas by becoming their CEO.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite one was the one Colin Jost talked about where he talked about how
hmm
there was a 3-year cruise that was canceled due to a lack of ships, and
Oh
he just says,
yes.
"Guys, call me," and it just cuts to a
Yeah.
picture of his Staten Island ferry that he bought. That
I like how that's become a running gag.
yeah, like what is happening with that ferry? Is
I don't think anything is, which is kind of the joke at this point. I don't know.
it's
I can't say I've been keeping up with that story in a big way, but
it's just gonna sit in the harbor until with filled with rats until forever?
I don't know. I don't know. They were like renovating it, and they were going to turn it into some sort of business, like a club or a casino or something.
Yeah, that was supposed to be like a concert event, nightclub, bar type of thing
Right.
on the
Which I
water.
mean, thinking outside the box, guys.
Yeah,
But
but I guess I guess it's just more trouble than it's worth, and it's actually becoming more of a headache than they realized.
well, maybe it's a good tax shelter. Who knows?
Nice, nice. I get it.
um,
Stash your
but
cash.
I think the highlight of Weekend Update was definitely Michael Longfellow as an old fashioned cigarette on banning vapes.
Yes, yes. They talk about vaping and how people are trying to ban it, and then
Yeah,
Michael Longfellow comes out as an old-fashioned cigarette in this really great cigarette costume too.
really great. I mean, the costume department knocked themselves out. There's like a little bit of smoke coming from the top.
Yeah,
It looks like it's actually glowing. Uh, it, he's got those fun cartoon hands. Yeah, just
yeah,
fun stuff. Fun
and
stuff.
yeah, and like whenever Michael Longfellow comes out in a costume, he always kind of plays the same type of vibe, but it always works.
hmm
This kind of blasé character. Like I like how he's talking
Yeah.
about, oh, everybody was into vaping. Oh, vaping's cool. Let me get a hit of your vape. And now look, the children are dead. Great
Yeah.
job.
Again, like he's just kind of deadpan, almost throwing it away, but it really works. And I like that we're having other people just dress up as these totally absurd characters, and it's not just Bowen Yang's thing anymore.
Yeah, I mean maybe Bowen Yang kicked that off with the iceberg thing, but like now it seems
Right.
to have been passed off to Michael Longfellow, and I like
Yeah.
it. I'm
Yeah.
into
I
it.
like that there's a whole world of insane characters who are coming in to visit Update now, and it's not just because if it was only Bowen Yang doing these types of characters, it would get a little same old, same old.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. So I like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of spreading the wealth a bit,
Yeah,
and
but I
Longfellow,
but
yeah,
I liked him trying to get Colin to say the British slang word for cigarettes,
which we will not say.
and he said, "Yeah, no one's going to take that out of context and make it a meme." And then, but later he like one at one point turns to the camera and says, "Smoking makes you skinny and popular."
And guys,
Speaking directly to kids,
yeah,
and
and he says, guys, it also adds a couple of inches. Wink.
yeah, yeah. I like the line, "Cigarettes are so good, they're like a dessert for sex."
That's a great line.
That's a great line. I liked how he's showing pictures of cool people smoking cigarettes. He shows Marlon Brando, and then they show Elizabeth Taylor. He says she's like Marlon Brando, but girl.
And then they show Ron Jeremy too.
Ron Jeremy.
Wow.
And Colin says like, yeah, isn't he in prison for something horrible? And I like that I like that they chose to be vague about it.
Yes, very much so.
Because if I remember correctly, what he's actually in prison for,
Mm,
it's something that Tina Fey once called a comedy killer. Like if you
yeah.
say that word, people just kind of shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just kind of let's move
Yeah,
on to the next thing.
yeah, and I think that was a very smart decision because it wasn't about that.
No.
It was just about showing the shot of Ron Jeremy because he was the comedy combo breaker.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, and then they also cut to a picture of like who's vaping, and then they show Hitler with a vape.
yeah, which that was funny, and I liked it. His sign off. Michael just goes, "Find me in your mom's purse."
Yeah. But yeah, this weekend update segment, I really liked it. Like Michael
Yeah,
Longfellow, he provides solid laughs whenever he's on.
this was a really good episode for Michael Longfellow. Between being the host and the game show sketch and this, it was great. He had a couple great showcases
Yeah,
for what he can do.
yeah. No, whenever Longfellow, like he's gotten to the point that whenever he comes out on Weekend Update doing one of his segments, I think, oh, this is gonna be good. I look forward
Yeah,
to it, very much so.
yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's got to be tough with a cast this size just to try and get everybody's voice on the show, and and it's always going to vary from week to week. Like this week, Molly was very underserved.
Yeah,
Uh,
like she came out
they,
in the first sketch.
they
Damn it, ah! They came out in the
I,
first
I
sketch.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to harp on this,
No,
but we got to keep correcting each other when
yeah,
we
no,
screw up.
I appreciate it. Keep me in check,
Yeah,
please.
and
But yeah,
I hope you don't find it annoying, but
no, please. It's the only
we got
way
to
I'll.
retrain our brains.
Yes, it's the only way I'll learn. So yeah,
Yeah,
so they were only used in the first sketch,
yeah.
and they only brought out what lettuce for the tortoise, and that was pretty much it. They didn't have
That
any.
was it for them. And yeah,
Yeah,
and I saw Molly at Good Nights, and I was like, I don't think I saw Molly earlier in the show. And then I rewatched the game show sketch, and I was like, oh, there Molly is.
yeah,
So
that was it.
yeah, and it's been long enough. I miss Molly. I think the last thing I really remember seeing Molly do was playing the headmistress in the orphanage during Chloe's big number to the moon
Yeah,
a
yeah,
few
that was
weeks
it.
back.
Yeah, that was the last thing they were in.
Yeah, so Molly needs another good showcase.
Here, here.
Yeah. Um.
But
So
yeah,
yeah, that was a highlight update for me.
yeah, I would say so. Absolutely. Yeah. So next up, we got play "Make Your Own Kind of Music," written by Mikey Day, Mike DeCenzo, Jake Nordwind, and Streeter Seidel.
Oh, look at that writing credits.
Yeah,
Did you just find those?
yeah, finally found them. Uh, the
Look at that.
the tree lighting gig, the one we all hated, that was by James Anderson and
Oh,
Ken.
well, you don't have to say that.
Oh, we don't. Well, we
Well,
kind
I
of.
mean, because we didn't like it.
Okay. James Anderson and Ken Sublette.
Okay.
Monologue by Megan Callahan Shaw, Mike DiCenzo, Jake Nordwin,
Okay.
Josh Pattern, Pete Schultz, and Casey Shornima.
Have we confirmed our suspicions on Question Quest?
I haven't seen anything yet on that.
Okay, we don't have credits for that yet.
But I'm
All right.
looking. I'm looking. I'm on it.
It will remain a mystery. The biggest question is who wrote that one.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Answer that question, audience. You could win a tortoise.
Yep. Yep. Anyway, make your own kind of music.
Yeah. So this
So,
one takes place 1969, Los Angeles.
mhm.
We see Mama Cass singing her, well-known solo hit song, "Make Your Own Kind of Music." Yeah, and Mama Cass is played by Chloe Trost, who's actually
Yeah.
singing. It seems like now,
Yeah.
like,
Strong singer.
yeah, it seems like Chloe Trost is slowly becoming their go-to person for like singing roles now. Like now that it's kind of
Yeah,
known
we
that
don't
she's
have Cecily there anymore to be like the go-to singer. So
right.
yeah, I bet that played into why she was hired.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so we have Chloe Trost as Mama Cass singing "Make Your Own Kind of Music." Then the producer Mitch Lester, played by Emma Stone, comes out. We
Yeah.
see Emma Stone come out in snazzy late '60s duds with a big old white,
Big old fro.
yeah, very, very Phil Spector, and
Yeah, it was Phil Spector. I didn't really make that connection.
yeah, and
Like the name Mitch Lester, I think it's just a made up name, but it reminded me a little of Mitch Easter, who was a producer on some of REM's early albums.
oh,
So
I didn't even know
I'm,
that.
I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but
Okay, all right, I can see that.
anyway.
And yeah, so
Yeah, because I haven't spoken to the Gen Xers in a while, so I had to get that in there.
got it. All right. Hello, Gen Xers. We're
Hi,
still
Gen
here.
Xers. We missed you. We haven't
We miss
acknowledged you in almost 10 minutes. So
Yeah, let's get together and talk about Dinosaur Jr. and some other Gen X thing that only we understand when you can.
exactly.
Yeah, so it's Mitch Lester coming from behind the board into the studio saying, "Oh, great job, Mama! This song's gonna be fantastic." The people from the record execs, the label, love the song, and then Mitch Lester goes into this rant about how, yeah, this song's gonna be a hit. It's gonna play in the radio everywhere. Then people are gonna forget about it for a little bit, and then it's gonna be a hit again years from now, and it's gonna appear in a bunch of slow motion movie montages.
It's the perfect song to play over him. Yeah, and then and Mikey Bowen and Andrew Dismukes, they begin acting out the scenarios with Emma. They're like zombies coming after her. She's a prostitute who's coming in and taking revenge and stabbing everyone. And I mean, it was just so gloriously insane. I loved it, man.
Yeah, like, I mean, I get the premise. I mean, the basic premise is how, like, in a lot of trailers and in movies,
Yeah,
they've been kind of doing this for a while, where like,
they're using the music ironically and
yeah,
playing like sort of a cheery or upbeat song toward something heinous.
exactly, like, yeah, like cheery, upbeat, positive songs used in depressing, violent, disturbing movies. Like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
they've kind of done that before.
I don't know. Has that been done with this specific song? Because
Um,
it feels like it's been used somewhere recently like this, maybe?
I looked that up. The last two movies I could find that this song was used in was a trailer for Barbie recently.
Okay, well, that's pretty recent, yeah.
Yeah, and the movie Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Okay, all right.
But like
Yeah, those are two recent examples. Okay,
yeah, but
cool.
I do feel like the song has been used in other like movies that's like a lot more sinister and dark, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I really love this one. I thought it was like an instant classic. I think it's a great example of the performances really elevating the material.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think Emma Stone just killed it.
I would
I
say
mean,
yeah. Yeah.
the character work in this was great. I think Chloe Trost was terrific. I think Mikey Bowen and Dismukes were all great, just acting out the slow mo scenarios.
Yeah,
It,
like yeah.
wonderful stuff.
Yeah, no, like this was definitely, I would say, the best performance we got out of Emma Stone of the night. She was really in it because, like, I think,
Yeah,
I mean, the premise is a little one note, so
yeah,
that's so because they kind of do the same thing over and over again, where they like reenact zombie apocalypse in slow motion while she sings the
yeah,
song, and then they reenact the prostitute killing Johns in slow motion, and then there's the final one where they recreate a trailer where it's like Joan of Arc coming back from the dead in slow motion,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's one of those things where like they kind of keep showing the whole thing, but so it kind of
But
it's dependent
they
on
were all fast. Like this sketch, I see on YouTube. It was like 5 minutes 49 seconds. This one flew by for me. Whereas the Christmas lights thing and the what's in the kiln, those seemed interminable, and those were both shorter than this one.
yeah, yeah, the make your own kind of music 549, tree
Yeah,
lighting gig 511, what's in the kiln 526. I
right.
Yeah, I will give you that. It didn't seem as long as those other two sketches, but yeah, I
I mean, but it sounded like I like this one a lot more for you because for me, this one's neck and neck with with
Question Quest.
with Question Quest for Sketch of the Night. I
Yeah.
mean, I might have to give Sketch of the Night for this to this one,
Okay. No,
honestly,
no, I yeah.
because this was so offbeat and this was such a out of the box sketch, and I really like that. I honestly I really like how weird the show is getting lately.
The show's getting weird.
Yeah,
it's dipping its toe into the weird pool, which I appreciate.
I like that we're doing weird stuff just outside of the 10 to 1 slot, and yeah, good stuff. I mean,
Yeah, no, for sure. Like,
instant classic as far as I'm concerned.
wow. Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this sketch definitely kind of leans on the performance of the cast members to like really bring it home and really carry it. Yeah, I would say it got there for sure. Like, it's good.
Hmm.
It's awesome that Chloe Trost is getting another kind of spotlight to really show what she can do as a singer and a
Yeah.
performer. And yeah,
I really like how quickly new cast members are getting established on the show now,
right.
and I think they've really stepped up their game at that. We're not doing like a year and a half of people playing waiters in sketches
Yeah.
before they get to have a breakout moment.
Yeah. No, they're
And
hitting the ground running, and I dig it.
yeah, and it's fun, and I mean it's tough just because there are so many cast members. It's tough to give everybody a moment, but I feel like I know what Chloe's about now.
Mm,
So
for sure, for sure. So yeah, make your own kind of music. Thumbs up, as far as I'm concerned.
thumbs up, definitely,
Okay.
definitely thumbs way up for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Next up, posters.
Posters. This is the third time we've done this, I think.
Yeah, I think so. This is like a sketch that Emma Stone usually goes to whenever she hosts.
Yeah, it's become one of her go-to things, and it's not really dependent on any one cast member. So I see why they went back to it. I didn't really need to see this again personally,
Um, yeah, kinda,
because
yeah,
again, it's more or less the same with just like some different specifics plugged in Mad Lib style.
yeah, very much so. So it's basically we see Marcello as the young college student now instead of Pete, because Marcello is the new young person,
Hmm.
and it's him not understanding physics and being
Yeah,
frustrated. Like, when am I gonna know physics? And of course, he falls asleep and dreams, and then his posters around him come to life.
right. We
We
we have with Mikey Day as David Beckham. I like how they immediately start saying like he's not as handsome as he normally is.
Yeah, kind of breaking the fourth wall there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it really felt like if I had to guess, I would say Mikey and Streeter had a hand in writing this, and I don't know if they wrote the previous ones. I bet we could find out who wrote the previous ones, and that's probably who wrote this one as well.
Well, John, you are correct because this was a Mikey Day Streeter Seidel joint.
I mean, it's you can usually spot a Mikey Streeter joint because one, Mikey has a significant part in it, and two, there's some self-deprecating humor in there. So
uh,
yeah, so that was fun. We also had Keenan as Troy the Toothpicker McCoy, and Emma returning. I think she's playing more or less the same character every time. She's playing a character called Chrissy Knox, who's
yes,
just this bimbo on a pinup poster.
yeah, she's an Instagram model who hosts an unpopular podcast.
Yeah, and remember, you can't be nude in Instagram posts, but you can be nude in OnlyFans stuff.
Yeah,
So, folks, if you take only one lesson away from this podcast, let that be the lesson. You,
that's the one.
you can't be nude in Instagram posts, but you can be nude in OnlyFans stuff.
Mm, yeah.
Did you know that apparently they allow nudity on Twitter?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, that honestly, it always weirds me out whenever I run into something featuring nudity on Twitter because it's just not something I expect to see on that platform.
Yeah, it is a little
Honestly, it would make more sense to me if you couldn't be nude on Twitter, but you could be nude on Instagram. That would seem to make much more sense to me.
Yeah, I get that, but yeah, like, I mean, I unfortunately I have kind of scrolled through Twitter once in a while and seen some like, oh no, type of things on it.
It's super weird when you see nudity when you're not expecting to.
Oh, for sure, for
And
sure.
I'm like never expecting to see it on Twitter, but still every once in a while, without even trying, you just
Just
oh wait, well that person's naked.
hardcore.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen anything hardcore, but
Oh, I have.
actually no, wait, I take that back. I did see one person post something that was like hardcore, and I was like, okay, I don't need to follow this person ever
Yeah,
again.
some people get pretty nasty on this thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I
So I
chihuahua.
was like, okay, unfollowing. I might have blocked him, and I don't know if the person was hacked or if they were just that clueless, but good.
Yeah, like, I never understand people who like kind of share that stuff. That's like, I'm not perverted like you. I don't need to see.
Yeah, I didn't ask.
It's like, hey, he'll get a kick out of this.
No,
This will brighten his day.
I mean, that stuff is fine in its time and place.
He looks like he would enjoy this greasy bit of mess.
No, no, thank you. Anyway, okay, so we have Kanan as the wrestler. We have Ego as a character from video game Time Assassin, and they're all talking about how physics comes in handy in their various lines of work.
Exactly.
And Emma's character Chrissy Knox, she just has real bimbo-y type things.
Yeah, like at one point, one I think one of them say, "What's giving you trouble with physics?" Marcelo says, "All of it," and then Chrissy Knox says, "Well, then just give up and look at my creamy little tummy."
Yeah, Yeah,
Yee.
and again, the performance really enhances it. I mean, the reason they've brought this sketch back three times or twice now for a total of three is because Emma Thompson plays that character. Emma Stone.
Stone.
I don't know what I'm doing, man. I haven't been talking about Emma Thompson in an inordinate amount lately, but somehow my brain just wants to say Thompson after I say the first name Emma.
It's gonna be hilarious. Like if you write up the description for this episode and you write Emma Thompson instead of Emma Stone.
I'll just put a cross out Thompson and then write in
Oh,
stone when I write up the description.
please do.
um, yeah, make it a drinking game for this episode, folks.
Right.
Take a shot whenever I say Emma Thompson instead of Emma Stone. What's a total?
Absolutely.
Um,
Uh,
but yeah, but the characters, just because there aren't too many notes she can play with that character, so it's gotten a little played out for me. I
yeah,
think.
yeah, very much so. You can only she kind of goes to that funny voice. She does that, hell
Hmm.
yeah type of
Yeah,
voice.
I mean, I can also only listen to that voice so much because it is kind of a grating voice.
Yeah, I mean
So
it's supposed to be. It's by
it is. I mean, she understood the assignment, so
but yeah,
I can't fault Emma Stone at all.
right, right.
Um,
But yeah, I mean the sketch is okay. Yeah, it
yeah,
kind of hits the same beats that it has before, and
yeah. I mean, it
mm,
was it was very funny the first time. The second and third time, it's not really going to surprise you anymore.
yeah,
So,
very much like the tree lighting sketch we saw earlier. It's like, oh, you just
or Lisa from Temecula, or
yeah,
that sort of thing. There are a lot of sketches that just only work once.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
and this was okay. I mean,
and that's fine.
yeah, I mean, I appreciate them trying to mix it up by pointing out that Mikey Day doesn't look or sound like David Beckham.
Yeah,
Like,
I enjoyed that because that was new.
yeah, exactly. They're trying to spice it up a bit, but yeah, other than that, it was kind of all right. I saw where this was going.
Right.
And so, final sketch of the night, our 10-1, another pre-tape, Diet
Hmm.
Coke by Olay.
Yeah, this I was watching the show on streaming, and there was a real commercial break right before this. And when this sketch started, I at first thought it was a real commercial, and I was
Yeah.
like just sort of doing other things, waiting for the commercial break to end. And then I glance over and I'm like, wait, is that Sarah? And then I realized it was a commercial parody.
Yeah, no, it looked too real.
So yeah, they duplicated the look and feel and sound of a real face cream commercial so much that yeah, I thought it was a real thing at first. So hey, kudos to the SNL production team.
Yeah. So the premise behind this sketch is like a oil of Olay commercial, and women's skin is very important to them. So why not give your skin something you already know makes you feel great? And it's Diet Coke by Olay. They're literally just smearing Diet Coke on their faces because women love Diet Coke. So why not
Yeah,
just put it into your pores and onto your face because it's already a river of Diet Coke already running through your
yeah.
veins.
I like how they explained it doesn't really do any good for your face, but it just mixes in with all the Diet Coke that's already in your bloodstream.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it was cute. It didn't blow me away. I thought it was weird that the host wasn't in it at all, and it honestly made me wonder if maybe this had been held back from another week or something.
Yeah, that's true. Like this could have been an old sketch. Yeah. Now you mentioned it. Yeah. The
Yeah,
host, like Emma Stone, isn't in
yeah,
this. She's not in this sketch at all. So like maybe they were like, well, we got a couple of minutes to kill. Just throw this in there and
yeah.
to fill in
Maybe.
time.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's yeah, it's under 2 minutes, so yeah, maybe they were coming up a little short somehow, and they just threw this in because it was it was on hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's
just the fact that the host wasn't featured at all, that's very unusual because
that's
usually they pop up even in pre-tapes.
yeah, that's very telling. The fact that the host wasn't in it makes me think, yeah, that this was probably just lying around, and
Yeah,
they popped it in. So yeah, so like the whole pretty much the premise is women love Diet Coke, and so
yeah,
smear it on your face, ladies.
yeah. It was cute. Not much else for
Yeah,
me, but it
same.
was amusing enough.
I did like the final joke about how you can. It goes for $49.99 behind a plastic jail in your CVS.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was a clever enough gag, and yeah, the sketch was okay, nice short, not too
It
bad.
was okay. I think overall, I think it was a pretty good show. I'd say probably the strongest of the season so far overall. I mean,
Hmm.
even though there were a couple sketches I really didn't like or didn't do anything for me, like the tree lighting gig and what's in the kiln,
Mm.
I think the rest was pretty strong.
Yeah, for the most part, I think most of the stuff worked pretty
Yeah.
well. Yeah, I mean, I know, I think because it was a Emma Stone hosted episode, I think like people maybe
Hmm.
had higher hopes for it, higher highs. I don't know if maybe a lot of people had higher expectations for it. I don't know if it met those high
Look,
expectations, but
I don't think it's a realistic expectation to expect every sketch in an SNL episode to blow you away. It's wonderful when that happens. I mean, that should always be the goal, of course, but
right.
I think just by its nature, it's going to be hit and miss.
Yeah.
So, but I think the monologue was good. I think Question Quest was great. I think Make Your Own Kind of Music were wonderful. I thought the Please Don't Destroy short was really good. I love Michael Longfellow's The Cigarettes and Fully Naked in New York. That's a lot of good stuff in one show.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think yeah,
So all I really ask is like three really good sketches, and
yeah.
anything more than that is bonus for
Yeah.
me.
We got
That's
that. Yeah.
gravy.
We got that and a solid musical guest in
Hmm.
Noah Khan, let me rock you, Noah Khan.
That's three.
Yay, bringing it back. Rule of threes, people. Bam.
Rule of threes.
Rule of
Rule of
threes.
threes. So, I mean, kudos to host Emma Thompson. She did a wonderful job. She's so wonderfully versatile.
She
I mean,
is.
I'd swear for most of this, I would think that she was an American woman in her mid 30s.
Exactly. American woman, stay away from me.
I mean, that's how good Emma Thompson is.
Very good. Oh, I see what you did. You did it. All right, there it
Yes,
is. Now you did rule of threes again.
rule of threes. Except I probably made that mistake more than three times.
Rule of nines.
Rule of nines. Yes, a multiple of three. Three times
That's
three.
right.
So it's three times as good of a good
That's
joke.
right. Do the math. It works out.
That's yeah.
Physics, sucker.
But yeah, I thought it was a good show. I mean, I think this was really good. I think the only other one that's like a contender for possibly as good of an episode would be the Nate Bargatze show.
The Nate Bargatze show was like stronger than I thought it'd be, and I was actually kind of surprised
Yeah,
that I
that
liked it.
was a real pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
we've also had SNL. They've announced new hosts.
Yes, yes. So for the last uh the final two shows of the year, we got the host and musical guest. So next week, December 9th,
Hmm.
we're getting host Adam Driver and musical guest Olivia Rodrigo. This will be Adam Driver's fourth time hosting and
Hmm.
Olivia Rodrigo's second time musical guesting. First time was on the Keegan Michael Key episode.
Oh, okay. That was a strong. Bring Keegan back, man.
I would love to see
God,
him back for
what
sure.
what do we got to do to get Keegan back there?
I
I
thought,
mean,
yeah, I thought he knocked it out the
dude,
park.
dude killed it,
Yeah,
and it amazes me that he has not come back to host since then. Maybe he's just too busy,
maybe. I mean,
but
I know he's out promoting like a new book about the history of like sketch
yeah, he wrote a
comedy.
book with his wife, who was actually a producer on Key and Peele.
Ooh,
From what I understand, I saw them on Colbert's show promoting it, and those two are just adorable together. You know, they're just.
yeah, yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, you can tell when you look at some couples; they just love each other. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So Adam Driver coming back fourth time. He's racked up four hosting gigs very very quickly.
Very much so. Yeah, he's one of those hosts where
When did he first host? Do you know?
uh give me a few minutes. I will get that info for
Let's
you,
see if I
sir.
can find that.
Okay, but yeah, but he's one of those hosts that like he's like best known for drama, but he's one of
Yeah,
those hosts like it surprised me like how good he is at comedy too. I almost got like kind of vibes of when we found out that John Hamm was good at comedy.
yeah. I
Like
mean, okay, I found it. Adam Driver. He previously hosted in 2016, 2018, and 2020. So we've covered his last two hosting gigs on the podcast because we started with the 2018 season.
right.
So I don't know. I know he's a favorite. I can't say he's like blown me away. I think
Mm.
he's been good as a host, but I wouldn't put him as I wouldn't put him on the level of like an Emma Thompson or a Keegan Michael Key or something like that.
Yeah,
What about you? How do
uh,
you feel about him?
I think he's a strong host. I mean, I know there's a few sketches he was in that people really like the one where the undercover boss on
Hmm.
on the Death Star. He was
Yeah, that was good.
that was a good one.
That was cute.
There was the career day one, which I thought he was really like knocking out the park on that
Was
one.
that the one where he played the old man?
Yeah, and he's like just screaming right into like
Yeah,
Pete Davidson's face.
that one didn't. I didn't love that one the way most people seem to.
Like he was really committing to the character. I thought like he was really locked in.
Yeah,
And what's another one I liked? I mean, of course, there's oh man, I'm all out of cash. There was oh man, I'm all out of cash. That
yeah, you're
taco
not making a great case now.
that was a weird one. That Taco Bell commercial. And the one I really liked is the medieval times sketch where he played like a performer in medieval time that took his role way too seriously.
I remember that one. Yeah, I think I liked that one.
Yeah, I remember that being solid. But yeah, like he just kind of uh he
I mean, I like that he commits as hard as he does. Um,
yeah, my man commits.
but yeah, like when I saw that he was going to be hosting again, it didn't get me particularly excited. But maybe just because I wasn't particularly a fan of Adam Driver to begin with.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
All right, but I think I think he'll win you over this time. Like I think he's a strong host, and like I look forward to seeing what he's gonna
okay,
bring.
well before we move on to the next host and musical guest, I just have one thing to say.
What do you have to say?
He needs to know that I fought for him.
Oh, there it is. Wow, bringing it back, baby. Bringing it back.
Call back.
That's right, listeners. Oh, you thought that was gone? Oh, you thought it was over? Oh, it ain't over. It ain't never over. It ain't never going to be over.
I just enjoy doing that too much. The I mean, I haven't done that impression in ages, and it doesn't even sound like him anymore. But
Nope.
I just enjoy doing it.
I appreciate that, sir. You dusted off the cobwebs, and it's like it never left.
Someday I should actually watch the movie Marriage Story.
You've never seen it?
I still have not seen that movie to this day.
Dude, it's been years.
I know. I know.
Oh. Uh,
I just got so sick of the damn trailer where every trailer is just going, he needs to know that I fought for him.
never change, Trumbull, never change.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, I was more excited about the host week after next on December 16th, I believe it will be.
it is, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we started this season with a SNL alum. We're ending the year with an SNL alum because on December 16th, it's the return of Kate McKinnon
Yeah.
and Billie Eilish.
And Billie Eilish, another returning musical guest. I'm not sure how many times has she been on SNL now?
This will be her third time. She was on.
Okay.
First time was a Woody Harrelson episode.
Okay.
The second time she hosted and guested, musical guest.
Yes.
So this will
Yeah,
be
and she's been in the news this week.
She has been in the news, officially out and proud. Love it.
Yeah, and I like the quote. Just I didn't realize people didn't know, and I'm just like, okay, cool.
Read the signals, man.
Well, I'm just like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm cool, babe. It's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kate McKinnon returning after leaving the show a little over a year ago.
Yeah, they're bringing the old cast members back really quickly these days.
Yeah, I was wondering what you thought about that. Like, is it too soon for her to come back, or what?
I mean, I did feel it was like too soon for Pete Davidson to come back, but I love Kate McKinnon a lot more than I loved Pete Davidson as a cast member. So I will say no. It doesn't feel too soon to me. Just because I love Kate McKinnon so. And yeah, I mean maybe technically it is a little soon. We're probably going to have a Mrs. Rafferty sketch.
Ooh, you think?
Well, she did go up on that spaceship on Kate's last episode.
Yeah, so they're just gonna, I don't know.
Yeah, and it would be kind of a shame to do that, but
yeah.
then again, I mean, Stefan got married, and we've seen Hader reprise Stefan since then.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I feel like it might lessen the impact of her going up in the spaceship at her final episode.
I mean, but there are things they could do.
Yeah,
I mean, Stefan married Seth Meyers, and then when he came back, he was like, "I'm pregnant." So
Yeah,
Maybe we could do a science fiction thing, and they're on the spaceship, and then Mrs. Rafferty has a surprise walk on. That might be fun.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Are there any other characters of hers you'd like to see her reprise?
Um, I don't know. I don't. Does she have a lot of recurring characters like that? I'm trying to think. I'm kind
Well,
of
she did a
blinking.
lot of things with 80
Yeah.
is the
Oh,
thing.
will 80 come?
So
Will 80 come back?
we could see. There's a good chance we could see an 80 Bryant cameo or two. I
Ooh.
mean, like get a Whiskers are we in
Mm.
there. I mean, my dream, of course, is a Dyke and Fats.
Oh, now you're cooking. Now you're cooking with.
That is my dream.
Now you're cooking with gas.
Um,
Yeah.
that's one I don't really mind them revisiting. I mean, I don't think they've topped the first one yet, but
That's
I don't know. What are some other great Kate McKinnon
Yeah, I
moments?
really can't think of too many. I mean, usually she's playing like kind of one-off characters
Yeah,
quite a bit. Like I don't think she has too many recurring characters, except for Mrs. Rafferty. But
yeah.
yeah,
I'd like to see her do like another old movie type sketch. Like she did the Casablanca sketch with J.K. Simmons, where
yes,
they were doing the end of Casablanca, and she's like, "Oh no, like no, no, oh, oh, I'll get on the plane right now, Rick." And then she did, I think this was in a John Mulaney episode where she was playing Tippi Hedren in The Birds,
hmm
and she's like, "The birds, they birded a man to death." And she just threw herself into those so much that those were so great.
that's true. That's true. And there was
Um,
actually that one character, that elderly actress that appears up in round tables, and she tells
uh-huh.
stories about how uh how horrible the
That's a
men
great
were.
character.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember the character's name right now, but I know who you
yeah,
mean.
like
Yeah,
tell her how horrible the men were back in her day in Hollywood.
right,
That I feel like
right.
that might come back.
That's a character she could easily reprise.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah,
for sure.
and that character's been gone longer than Mrs. Rafferty, so I feel like that's more ripe to revisit.
Yeah, like I'd be cool with
So
that character coming back for sure.
so yeah, that would be fun. I mean, but I'm sure whatever Kate McKinnon does, she's gonna do spectacularly because she's just so stupendously talented.
Yeah,
I love her.
she'll knock it out the park. It'll be great. Looking forward to both these shows. We're ending the year strong. Adam Driver and Kate
Mhm.
McKinnon. I'm
Well, yeah, I mean, they always try to make the last couple shows of the year really the calendar year really big.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So yeah, looking forward to this very much so, absolutely. But as far as the Emma Stone episodes, we put out the word on Twitter that we were doing
Oh
this
yes.
episode. So let's hear from our fans.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. First we got Boardman gets paid at La Hot Helion. That's how I'm going to say it this week. He says, "Hi guys. I don't know why, but I'm a huge fan of the running joke that Punky does not know who celebrities are. Same.
Mm,
It was nice to see Emma get her five timers jacket. Question Quest was hilarious, and yeah, I loved it. Can't wait for next week's guest to crush his enemies."
that's probably the what was that like his undercover boss character
Yeah,
reference.
that's it. That's either a callback to something he did on SNL or maybe something he did in Star Wars. I can't remember.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely like a Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. All right.
okay, so next we got NYAC Henderson saying my fave was the Mama Cass studio footage, the absurdity. Except as someone who's been in LA for most of my life, seen it. Real life absurdity is even weirder. I chuckled
Mm,
throughout. Enjoyed the tortoise sketch. The 6-year-old entering into an over 100-year contract line was gold.
yep.
It's a great line.
Yep. Those were the two big highlights of the episode for me.
hmm
Our friend Minette Marati at Minette M97 uh, sounds a little underwhelmed with the episode. Minette just says, "Meh. I zoned out for a couple sketches in the first half. I think you know which ones.
mm
But happy to see Longfellow have a decent night." I'm gonna guess. I mean, because we seem to share taste with Manette a lot. I'm gonna say that she disliked the ones that we disliked, which were
The tree lighting sketch
the
with
tree lighting and the kiln.
yeah,
Uh,
the
what's in the kiln?
yeah, those two were pretty
And
underwhelming.
they were back to back.
Oof. I mean, they
So,
had the Please Don't Destroy in between, if I'm not mistaken.
oh, did they? Okay,
But
all
yeah,
right.
but still, they were pretty lackluster.
Yeah, they brought the show down a bit, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
I'd say so. But yeah, so that's our episode, guys. Thanks again for listening, as always, to the podcast. As always, you can follow us on Twitter, because we refuse to call it X, at
mhm.
SNL Nerds Show, and you can follow me on all platforms at Darren Credible. That's DARIN Credible.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and what's that new one that I don't use as much? Blue Sky. I'm on all of those at Trumbull Comic. That's TRUMBULL in the word comic. And of course, show page SNL Nerd Show on Twitter. And we gotta create some show pages for some of those other platforms now
We're
too.
we're gonna have to, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
We're on it,
yeah.
boss.
It's time. It's past time.
Yes, it is his time.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, as always, you could leave a review. You could donate to our Patreon at Non-Productive.com. Give us money, give us praise, give us nice things to say about us. Gimme.
But mostly give us money.
Yes, exactly. That would
Yeah.
be nice. Tis the season. Cough off the butts.
Yeah, it's the giving season.
For sure.
It's also cupping season.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So, all right. So we'll see you next week with Adam Driver and Olivia Rodrigo. I don't think they're going to be on the podcast with us, but you never know, do you?
You never know.
So you just have to tune in and find out. So until then, nerds out.
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.